Hello everyone, i.ii.iii Analysis here. Today we're going to be covering the new Quadeca Ambient EP and Vanisher Horizon Scraper, the extended cut. In total there are 5 new songs, 2 being D-sides which have now been officially released and 3 new ambient instrumental tracks. In this video we will discuss these new songs, explore if they have an impact on the world of Vanisher and the story. We will also take another look at the D-side songs which have now been released, but this time under new context of their official placements in the tracklist. I'm sure most of you know, but in case you don't, I've made a video on the main Vanisher Horizon Scraper album. I've also released another one exploring the D-side songs in their entirety, so make sure to check them out if you haven't already. I'm also currently working on a deep dive on I Didn't Mean to Haunt You, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Before we get into the songs, Quadeca posted this image on X, providing some context behind the surprise release, so I thought I wasn't going to do this. But as I was working on completing my new album, a part of me got stuck on a few things from the last album that I cut or never finished. Not sure if the feeling is regret or just a new perspective, but after some distance from everything, I had to put these out. I don't care if the timing is good for this or if the ship has sailed on it, haha. I'm just doing it to sleep a little better at night. 2 added songs within the tracklist, plus 3-part ambient album, all new songs. Originally my idea was to release that as a surprise alongside Vanisher, but I didn't have it in me to do it, until now. So yeah, that's what it is. It feels like a nice little goodbye. Anyways, I'll be back with this new thing. 2026 will be something different. Cheers, Ben. The 2 D-side songs which have been officially placed into the extended cut tracklist is Melisa and Learning to Swim. The song was previously referred to as Learn to Swim, so it's nice to have the official title. Learning to Swim is officially placed between Waging War and Ruin My Life on the tracklist, making it the 3rd track. This makes total sense and is to be expected. I always imagined if the song was to be placed into the tracklist, they'd be placed before or after Ruin My Life. The song depicts a sailor learning how to survive out at sea on his journey towards the horizon, following the ups and downs of the process. I really thought I was not going to have to say horizon 100 times per video, but I guess we're back. I guess the Vanisher era really wasn't over. I jinxed it. In the D-side video, I analysed the song under the context that it's from other variants of the sailor. But if we analyse it as a part of the main album story, it's framed slightly differently. This song is much more simple. It depicts a sailor's mindset. It shows that he's happy to sink, to fail, but to swim, to flourish. I think it's a great addition to the overall story. It helps us to see the sailor as someone who can be optimistic before he falls further into pessimism. It makes that character arc and that story arc even more rewarding. Melisa, also known as Foregone Prelude, has been officially placed after the Great Bacchanal and before Foregone. This doesn't change the context of the album too much, since Melisa is pretty much an extended version of Foregone. I don't think its placement works quite as well as Learning to Swim's place on the tracklist, since you're basically hearing the same song back to back with Melisa and Foregone. They share the similar lyrics, sound, ideas, and structure, so it can be quite weird to hear them back to back in the album. However, Melisa is one of Quadeca's best songs, so I'm really glad it's officially released. I don't think there's too much to cover in terms of story for this track, since it kind of just expands on Foregone. Although, it might make sense if Melisa is talking solely about his boat, since he would have just become separated from it in the story. In the song, he's paying respect to his boat, almost like a lost friend. It's the only friend he's really had on this journey. This can be supported by the boat references in the lyrics throughout the song, and the fact that the boat is somewhere out there in the ocean, even if it is broken or has sunk. He then pays respect to himself and his childhood-like wonder in Foregone, which leads to his fate in Casper. This helps keep Foregone more contained, since it's a very ambiguous song, could be interpreted as many different things from the album, one of them being the boat. So if Melisa is about the boat, then we can safe to say that Foregone is not. Overall, I'm super happy that these songs are officially released, and it means more people will discover them and see how great they really are. Also, in my D-side video, I didn't showcase the outro to Melisa. Now, I'm not sure if this is a new outro which is just released, or it was just cut from the recordings that I have heard of Melisa and it was on the vinyl all along. I don't know, let me know down below, I'm curious. Anyhow, here's the outro in case you've not heard it. Just a very beautiful and fitting outro to an amazing song. Let's now move on to the ambient EP. It is named i.ii.iii. which is Roman numerals for 1, 2, 3. Let's first of all look at the album cover. The background is white, the bottom left corner features the Roman numerals, which are of course the title of the EP. In the upper right corner lies a black circle, which does have some texture and gradient inside if you zoom in far enough. The cover doesn't say too much or do too much on its own, but I do think it is a nice parallel to the original Vanisher cover. I decided to have some fun, I overlaid both the original Vanisher cover and the new EP cover, and realised that both the circles don't line up, which I thought they would, to be honest. This creates an interesting image. Now you could interpret this as an eclipse, which could be referencing the Great Bacchanal, but I do think that's a bit of a reach. Could even interpret it as the horizon. No, I'm joking. I need to stop going on about the horizon. I also decided to layer the I.ii.iii Haunt You album cover on top of it. Since I'm working on that video, it's so fresh in my brain, so I decided to see what would happen. And I've realised it created this cool interesting effect where the circles gradually get further away from each other and smaller in size. We can see this as the other way around, that they're slowly expanding as they're getting closer to the centre of the image. To clarify, I don't think Vanisher and I.ii.iii Haunt You are related in terms of story, conceptually at all, but if it was, this would be really cool. The very first and small circle can kind of show him being alive, the second smaller black one can show death, and then the third one can show a spirit as a ghost. I don't know, it's just a cool little thing. But like I said, if I.ii.iii Haunt You does interest you, make sure to check out my video when it releases. Now let's go into the music. The first track is titled i.Finale. The song has a duration of 7 minutes and 11 seconds. The title of the song being Finale, despite being the first track from the EP and the third to last track in the extended cut, is an interesting choice. This could be playing at the idea of the looping nature of the album. It's the finale after Casper, but it's not really, as he's stuck in this loop, so he's reborn, so therefore there's still more music after. Some parts of this song reminds me of something from Christopher Larkin's Hollow Knight soundtracks. I can't exactly pinpoint what it is, but it's a really great compliment. The piano is just beautiful, and I do realise I call everything on this channel beautiful, and I probably should find some other adjectives, but it's just so beautiful. Every note feels heavy with emotion. The song ends with the subtle sounds of a sea, before perfectly transitioning into the next song. The second track is i.ii.iii. I have absolutely butchered that, but it is Portuguese for at night. The song has a duration of 7 minutes and 46 seconds. Perhaps at night is speaking about death. It could relate to the album cover with the black sun circle thing that we saw. Maybe everything's now dark, it's like he's at night. Or it could just be relating to, I don't know, something else entirely. We know that Dancing Without Moving takes place during the night time in the main album, so maybe it's related to that. I'm not sure. Very ambiguous, but it's a cool title. The guitar throughout the track sounds similar to Ruin My Life. This is likely because the guitar was played by Fahem Irfan. Sorry, I'm so bad with names. Fahem played guitar on both of these tracks, and also on other tracks throughout the album, such as Godstained, No Questions Asked, Natural Causes, and on a colour show performance of Monday. I really love this part of the song, which is around the 4-minute mark. The guitar just goes absolutely crazy. This song also transitions perfectly into the next song, but it feels like the transition carries on for an extra minute or so before getting into the real track. Anyway, I'll show you that in a second. Track 3, i.ii.accordion's Remorse. Accordion's Remorse is the final track, and probably the final track ever from the Vanisher era. The song has a staggering runtime of 7 minutes and 59 seconds, making it the longest song in the extended cut, and one of his longest songs of all time. The song primarily features an accordion, which is played by Rosie. Rosie was a part of the Vanisher Horizon Scraper tour, and he also released an album under the X8 Music label, Quadeca's music label, under the alias Sugar Cherry. On Rosie's Instagram story, he added context to this song, that he was gifted an accordion from a Russian man. On the man's final breath, On the man's last breaths, he asked if he would learn this instrument so it wouldn't stay lying on the shelf collecting dust. Like I mentioned previously, it feels like the previous track transitions into this song and carries on for about a minute until the sound of the ocean plays and this song really begins. I will say that this song is my favourite out of the new 3 ambient tracks. The use of the accordion, along with some vocal harmonies which are altered with effects, create this really beautiful atmosphere. However, there's this underlying tone of dread. Perhaps dread's not the right word, maybe it's grief. The sheer volume of this song compared to the previous 2 ambient tracks really makes it have an impact. The long build up between songs really pays off in this track. The vocals in this song feel similar to No Questions Asked, almost like it's a mirror to the start of the album. It yet again plays into that loop in nature of the album, that the end has something to do with the start. And I mean, the end is the start, but not exactly. Something does change, since he becomes a new variant. This song is a perfect outro to the album, and a great bookend to the Vanisher era. I am confident in saying that this is the end of the Vanisher era this time. It fits the end, it's not really the end, but the end of the story really well. You can feel the grief and devastation from the story in the music. Make sure you subscribe and stick around to see my video on I.ii.iii. Haunt You. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for Quadeca and Vanisher for making this channel what it is. See ya.